300, what's the deal? It's your folks, Shaka the Urban Philosopher. Wanted to share my thoughts with y'all real quick. So yeah, we back again with another weekend recap. Appreciate y'all pulling up. I'm a little late to dropping this, y'all. I pulled up to the Nique Bohemians Green Room podcast that she hosted yesterday. It was fire, you know what I'm saying? It was a cool panel. And so I appreciate her having me on. You know what I'm saying? I look forward to more of that content on there. I think that's going to turn out to be a cool thing that you're doing. So, but y'all, you know what it is. I want to get into the other shout outs. I appreciate the folks pulling up to listen. You know, you pulling up, taking your time out. You know what I'm saying? Liking the information. Okay, understanding that a like won't hurt you. You know what I'm saying? You're sharing your comments, your experience, helping other people. I appreciate all that. You know what I'm saying? Folks appreciate you. Now, next thing we want to get into is the page of the week. We're going to go ahead and give it to Auntie Comedy. Definitely pull up and check out her page. Okay, she's a social media comedian. And her primary character is like a lot of the old school parents, you know, primarily from the late 80s on through the 90s. And it's a pretty cool concept. She's pretty accurate with a lot of what she be doing up in there, y'all. So go check her out. Ken Walker is the video of the week. He had a video called Training to Become a Gymnast in a Day. And I like what Ken's doing because you know what, y'all, at the end of the day, whether he's hitting or missing, he's throwing it out there. You know what I'm saying? And I like where he's going with the activity-based concept. I did like the whole rock climbing thing as well. You know, but he looks like he's just really just kind of catching his stride with the hits and misses. But I did like this whole gymnast thing. You know, he pulled up. It looked fun. You know, and I'm for real. I was like, man, I think that I would even do something like that. You know, we need that those moments that bring out the child in us. You know, I think that we all need that. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what was going on in that video. You know. A lot of flipping, a lot of jumping around, you know what I'm saying? But who's behind that camera? You know what I'm saying? You know, who's behind that camera? Kim Folk, you know, I did drop a short about that. Y'all check that out. But we're going to give him the video of the week. Y'all follow all of those people I mentioned. You know what I'm saying? Check them out, follow them, you know. But, let's go ahead and get into it, y'all. What we come here for, let's get into it. First thing we're going to get into is this news real quick. You know, I don't have much for the news, but I had a couple of things. The first thing I want to speak on is this whole school. I speak on a lot about schools, y'all, because it seems like you discover a lot, you know what I'm saying, by just looking at the situation with public schooling and what they're being taught and things. But you know, they got parents now complaining about schools teaching this critical theory and stuff like that. A lot of people from that so-called other side, they have a problem with this. But you know, I look at the situation and I just say to myself, you know, the primary reason politicians have as much power, you know what I'm saying, as they do, is strictly because of people just lazy. You know, people don't want to take their life into their own hands. And so they pretty much depend on these politicians and the government to really facilitate a lot of these things. Even people who are not receiving government assistance, a lot of them still depend heavily on the government and the people that control the land or whatever. Because, for example, you learn that a lot of those people on that other side is really no different than, you know, a lot of us so-called black folks complain, no action. A lot of signs, a lot of rah-rah, no action. And you would think that those people who claim that they're a little better, they got a little more, something like that, what they think of things like that, you would expect for them to be the ones more likely to organize, okay, to do something about what they got a problem with. Like, for instance, organize with their community to teach their own children. But you don't see that. You see them the same way. They wake their children up still every day to go to the school. Why? Because it's easier for them, okay? But it's situations like that, y'all, that y'all learn that, they've been telling you that, these people are so much better and things like that. It really ain't been that case. You know what I'm saying? They've had certain safety nets, but really you learn that they ain't no different. You know what I'm saying? On a lot of fronts. And we can look at those examples and for real just say that we can be better, But I just wanted to call that out, you know what I'm saying? They ain't no better, But the next thing more important, y'all, I've been reading a lot about so-called black men murdering their mothers. This stuff is getting crazy. I mean, I seen one down in Atlanta where I think a little 16-year-old stabbed his mother or something like that. But then I seen one just recently where this dude stabbed his 61-year-old mother in Brooklyn, who was a pastor or whatever. And look, y'all, what I'm seeing is that a lot of stuff, okay, we're seeing the extreme consequences of a lot of things, okay, in these days and times. That's what we're seeing. Because the truth is, this is a whole man boy situation where a lot of these dudes are just acting out because they're not getting their way. See, but they're not acting out like they do as kids. They're acting out like they do as spoiled grown men. And the thing is totally different. Now, y'all know that these other groups of dudes have always done this. I think it was a dude right here over in the part of Raytown over there who got out and shot at a school because he had a fallout with his mom. He wasn't getting his way. They had another one of them dudes over there, I don't know what state or whatever, but he shot at his mom's house because she wouldn't give him no money. And we kind of have always been knowing that they kind of get down like that. But man, when it starts being entertained by so-called black men to get like that, okay, on a more consistent basis, that's when we start seeing the extreme of it. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I'm just saying we got to pay attention to that. The man boy in these days and times is dangerous, just like the simp in these days and times are dangerous. And we got to pay attention to that because that has been turning up a lot. I've been like, dang. You brothers out here really just killing their moms and shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's just really crazy, But let's move on to the entertainment. Y'all, I thought something was real interesting. I had made a video called Truth of the Matter. I had a series on my last channel called Truth of the Matter. This was actually a video series that I had made. And I was pretty much just talking about how, hip hop is just pretty much bought, sold, and controlled. And almost all so-called black artists, when they go into the entertainment industry up there, they are not allowed to keep much of anything. They'll let them hold it a little time, you know what I'm saying, for the PR to make it seem like black folks are not being bullied out of everything that they do, or allow that artist up there to maintain this I'm cool and ain't nobody gonna punk me around type of thing. But in the long run, they eventually had to give it all up. This is the reason why Jay-Z, he doesn't own Tidal anymore. You know what I'm saying? You know, you'll never see these artists really walk away with just owning something like that, you know. And I had said some time back that when this started to become more and more of a thing, and I'm going to share the comment because Facebook has shared a memory, and I'm going to share the comment if I can find it, because I know I said it, but I said as that become more and more of a thing, it's going to be game over. You know what I'm saying? And now it's something more than ever. But yeah, these artists of today, so-called blood, they get into that other side. They come up with anything hot. They are not going to be able to keep it. Okay, it's going to be owned and controlled. Like when you see a lot of these artists out here today on that side, they getting them into NFTs. They get a lot of them even able to open up stores and stuff like that. That ain't nothing but another way for the labels that they are signing to. They are cashing out on that. You know what I'm saying? And things like that. So it's a different game today. You know, today they just saying outright, you know, yeah, we got to get that eventually. And so I just wanted to speak on that. And, you know, with that said, you know, I had also just seen a recent article that was talking about this, y'all. But y'all check that out. You know, it's very interesting. You know, because once the masters are controlled, you know, that's pretty much it. Especially if you primarily bubble off your music. Everything came from there. So the next topic is this dude Fat Joe. Okay, now people were talking about his outfit, his wardrobe malfunction, and some people were laughing and things like that. But I just looked at it like a stunt that they made him do. You know, they had a song from that side. I think the Migos did it, and they said we set the trends, and they do. You know what I'm saying? And so when they want to encourage, for in this example, men to do this Foulion type stuff, they'll have Fat Joe get into an outfit and get out there and take a model picture. You know what I'm saying? Like that's something that he really get into. And who knows, he could get into that. You know what I'm saying? But why they put him up front it is because they want to try to, you know, manipulate things at the reaction level. And eventually get people to come out and be rocking that silly type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Because them things ain't nothing but, I mean, those bootsy out of them things look like Uggs to me. Or whatever they call them things them girls be wearing. You know what I'm saying? But like they do that stuff to kind of see what happens because a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, will get out there. And that's pretty much what they do all the time. They just throw stuff out there and they try to see if it's going to be a hit. You know what I'm saying? Because if it ends up being a hit, it allows them to continue to do more, you know, whatever they trying to do. Drop agendas, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. And if it don't, they'll just kind of move on. But what you notice today is more and more as they do these things, more and more stuff is just starting to catch. I mean, I done seen some of the most silliest trends take legs. The Gorilla Glue trend that some people got into. The milk cart trend. You know, and I know that we all know a couple of these other trends. I think they had one people were even swallowing detergent packs or something like that. So that they do, this is what they do. You know what I'm saying? So when they had him come out, that's what that was about, in my opinion. But the next thing on in entertainment. Now I got a couple of emails. A lot of people wanted to try to poke fun at me because the Chiefs lost. And they lost here at Arrowhead Stadium. So people was like, oh yeah, good opportunity for me to shit on him. So I got some emails about this. But you know, y'all, I had already told y'all that sports are rigged. That game was rigged. And they are definitely rigging it up to try to put some of them other dudes over there as the poster boy of the league, because the one that they scripted it up for so much, of course, Tom Brady, he's retiring. He's not going to be around anymore. And so when you look at that, and then you look at also how the stock of them dudes have been going down. We've talked about this on several shows, y'all, but the stock has just been going down for them dudes. Even when you look in sports, okay, when you look in sports, they ain't been talked about, especially in the NFL. The highlighted quarterbacks have been people like Russell Wilson, Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, you know what I'm saying? A lot of the brothers, outside of the older dudes, ain't nobody really talking about them other dudes. So, it's only right that they got to promote them. You know what I'm saying? They trying to promote them. They still want to hold on to the fact that that's their sport, and they're always going to have them like in the center of the QB thing or whatever. So I think it's that. And then when you look at what they do with the league and stuff like that, is they really be trying to do all these rituals and stuff and do all these stories and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It's bigger than just whatever. And then also they got to allow all of the owners to get paid, because it's like to me, in my opinion, it's like a group thing. So, that's why you seen that second half blunder where the Chiefs were just like dominating in the beginning, the whole half. And even in the beginning, I was like, dang, they wasn't giving the Bengals no calls. And so I was like, yeah, they going to get them this game. And then when y'all look at like everybody, some people been saying it's the year of the Tiger. That's what they're saying. They're trying to promote all of these things. And so, yeah, y'all, sports is rigged. Sports is rigged. And a lot of people, oh man, you saying that because your team? No. I said this a long time ago. You go through this channel, I've been saying this. I stopped watching sports, taking it serious anyway, some years and years ago. It's definitely rigged, especially in NBA too. Another topic, but especially in NBA too. NBA been wrestling like a mug. You been saying all this weird stuff. I ain't never seen so many players about to fight ever. You know what I'm saying? This season, that's all you see. I seen a little clip highlight last night. The dude, Brandon Ingram, he got ejected because some dude did a dunk and he fell on the ground, and Ingram kind of just did that, and they just ejected him. And I was like, man, this stuff is scripted. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. Anyway, that's what I think about that. But let's move on to the truth of the matter. And the first thing I want to talk about here is a topic that I see a lot. And you got some of these guys out here, they like to come and say things like, hey, we all need to be positive. We all need to be, just get along. Why we got to say this to each other, brothers, and things like that. And I wanted to speak on that or just kind of just saying some of us need to brighten up a little bit. And, when these dudes say these things, I think about the verse Matthew 3:4. I believe that that's the verse, y'all. Correct me if I'm wrong, where they say, I didn't come for peace. I came to bring a sword. You know what I'm saying? I came understanding that you're gonna have to be aggressive. You know what I'm saying? And not really care about the other side to accomplish whatever you want to accomplish or get the message across that you want to get across. And that's what I like to say to a lot of these dudes. Like, man, everybody's not meant to get the message across the peaceful kumbaya way. Not saying that there's not a place for that, because obviously there is a place for that. but you don't ask everybody to be that way. Like if I could look at somebody and I can say that they are delivering something that's worth, you know what I'm saying, debating or listening to, or you know what I'm saying, whatever, it's really hard for me to come and try to tell them, hey, I like what you're saying, you know what I'm saying, but I would deliver it a little more nicer and things like that. In my opinion, you don't look to somebody else in their audience and say those type of things. You know what I'm saying? That's just real. That's not the place for everybody. Because the thing, like, if there was a war popped up, if there's bombs and stuff and things like that, who we gonna look to? Or who the community is gonna look to is gonna look to the warriors, gonna look to the soldiers. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna look to the people who are the peacemakers or the kumbaya people. And those warriors, no matter what rank they are, they're not gonna be able to be the most effective people thinking in first through the filter of the peacemakers, okay, and how they go about delivering things. So, it's somewhat of a thin line, but it's somewhat of a gray area, but that definitely needs to be said because, a lot of people, they kind of get intimidated by the way some people go about things. And a lot of times it is just about what is being said, not how it's being said. You know what I'm saying? And vice versa, but there's a time and a place for everything. So I wanted to speak on that real quick. The next thing is this Whoopi Goldberg situation. And the reason why I'm putting this here is because, just looking at the Whoopi Goldberg situation, we again see the benefit about independent media. Okay? This is the benefit about independent black social media and social media, is that you don't have to walk on ice to speak your point of view, and you can have a point of view. Okay? That's outside of the narrative. Because what happened with Whoopi, like all black folks on that side, she did not say what they expected her to say. She has to speak 100% within the narrative. Okay? There was someone who tried to cut her off when she was sharing her opinion, and it was like, nah, this is about white supremacy, and she was like, nah, well, it's about something else. But basically, Whoopi spoke outside the narrative. Okay, it wasn't really about her opinion that was disrespectful, and y'all can go over to look at the opinion, but it's not important to speak on the opinion to find out the lesson in this, especially for so-called black people. But this is one of the things that I was telling y'all, that we got to make sure that, we kind of make sure that we sustain, our independence on this black social media side. Because that is the problem with the entertainment industry. It's one of the reasons why they lost the influence and things like that anyway. Why nobody cares about their award shows and things like that anymore. It's just it has been way too controlled and narrative driven for way too long. You know what I'm saying? And so when you look at Whoopi Goldberg and how they did her, and I think that they have put her on suspension and things like that, you don't want to see that, you know what I'm saying, on the other side. Because the thing about this is, one way or the other, you can get your opinion across. Because it's just a matter of the platform you go to. It ain't a matter of, for the most part, it's not a matter of who you are. You know what I'm saying? Because, see, those people over there, who they are, their personalities are really owned and controlled. Okay? And that's just real, because, what she said was a logical thing. But they like, hold on now, you know what I'm saying? You got to be speaking on how it's racist, you know what I'm saying? And white supremacy. That's your role. No matter how right or logical your opinion is, you know what I'm saying? That's what that was really about. You know what I'm saying? And she got reprimanded for stepping out. So yeah, In the entertainment industry is controlled, owned and controlled. You know, might look like they doing it big, but they controlled. You know, that's why they be looking down here, because you know a lot of them owned and controlled. They be like, man, I wish I can do that, say what I want to say. You know, we're moving on. Moving on. Let's get to the social media, y'all. Let's get on to the social media. We got a few things to talk about, y'all. But the first thing we're going to go ahead and speak on real quick is Life is Nique. You know, Life is Nique, y'all. We got to go ahead and speak on her because, you know, she's bossing up a little bit. You know, she's bossing up a little bit. You know, I see her making the effort to bring better, more creative content. You know what I'm saying? I especially like how she wants to try to take more time to educate, you know what I'm saying, her followers. She has a series that she's going to be working with, but she's going to speak to them more about business and, you know, just her journey with business and the experience she has gained. So I think that that's a good thing. I like how she's putting, you know what I'm saying, her hitter up front, you know, the person that, you know, she's been dealing with, you know what I'm saying, she's putting that person up front, she's promoting them, you know what I'm saying, she's letting it be known that they are on their so-called social media journey together, and that's a good look, you know what I'm saying, because y'all know that I have spoke about the benefits of that. You know what I'm saying? And she's also letting people know about future plans, you know? And so these are just good things, y'all. You know, good things that she's doing. She is being a leader. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter if she's getting the million plus view, you know what I'm saying, or something way up there or not. She's being a leader in what's next, in my opinion. So I think that that's a good look. And I'll say that. And I just want to say this as well, because, you know, just like De'Ara, you know, a lot of these women that I do speak on, right, I get, you know, I always get like, you know, certain questions about them where people are kind of like, they might disagree with certain things and stuff like that. And here's where I might violate my rule of State of the Union address one time. I'll say this, you know, in my opinion, women just need to bring more to the table on that. You know, being more creative with holding your fellow woman accountable. You know what I'm saying? You know, speak on things like that. And just because y'all, for the most part, I think that that's the woman's place. You know what I'm saying? Whether I agree with some of the things that I see or not, you know. Now, I might speak on certain things when I'm trying to help brothers see things, but I think that women can do this. You know, speak on what you don't like, speak on what you do like, you know, that's up to y'all. So, but I wanted to go ahead and move on from that and get on to this stuff. This stuff. DJ Akademiks. Okay, y'all. Versus Tasha K. So DJ Akademiks decided to try to put the stake. Okay, he thought Tasha was down there. He's like, let me go ahead and nail her up, and he thought that he was gonna try to put the stake in the coffin. And when he did it, Tasha K reached up from the grave and grabbed his damn hand, you know, like in the movies. And he just looked like, you know, surprised, you know, you back? You know what I'm saying? That's exactly how I look. Now, I will say this. Now, I will admit, the info the women had on him, it was light. It was light. Okay? But, I mean, it was just kind of like out of the blue. Was this just a warning? I mean, it really seemed like it. You know, somebody like Tasha K, she knows if she got something super juicy or not. But I'm not sure. But you know what they had was like, but why does it have social media buzzing? Okay, why does it have social media buzzing? I believe for a couple of reasons. Because number one, people are shocked that Tasha K, she ain't taking no L sitting down. You know what I'm saying? She taking it right back to him, and everybody know that DJ Akademiks is a part of the entertainment industry. You know what I'm saying? And so she's letting it be known, and that's what's up. That lets you know that she stand on what she speak on. She stand on what she say. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know how I like that. You know, that's what's up. You know, and so she's sending that message in ways, because she ain't really said much about it, you know, other than the show from what I've seen. But another thing about it is his response to it all. How he responded to it. He wasn't just like on player shit, you know what I'm saying? He was on that made up character hip hop shit when you listen to a lot of what he said. But he wasn't no real player, but like, hey man, that's just what, you know what I'm saying, chicken head say or nothing burger say. On to the next one, man. Don't miss me with those questions. I'm not about to get him that, you know what I'm saying? He didn't do that. His response was very over the top. It was overreaching. He said way too much. You know what I'm saying? And then just like a lot of the stuff that he was like, it was almost just like, I can't wait to have a reason to tell people that I live the hip hop lifestyle. That's just how it came off. But I tell y'all all the time, it typically jump at the reaction stage. I tell y'all that. Just pay attention to that, y'all. That's serious game. Pay attention to that. But his response made me ask questions. You know, that response is kind of like what exposed him. And just let it be known that, just like I told y'all in that short, that he's not the dude that he comes off as. You know what I'm saying? And just like all that, I'm big AK talk and the rah-rah and this girl had to fuck my dudes talk. It was just a bad look. You know what I'm saying? And when you see it, you understand why those type of women were even able to get into his presence. You know what I'm saying? It was like and then on top of that, it was like he needed to say all that to prove that those women meant nothing to him. You know, all that energy into dismissing what a couple of so-called chicken heads had to say. You know what I'm saying? And see, a lot of these guys who the followers and stuff, they're trying to focus attention on the women when that is a nothing burger. Because number one, those are not the women who represent the top tier of women. You know what I'm saying? I hope y'all don't think that being on Dusty, Fresh, and Fit co-signs such a thing. You know what I'm saying? But this is it at the end of the day. And you know, Tasha, she's interviewing what he brought to the table. These are the women that got the story and had the experience. So they up front, because this is who dudes like DJ Akademiks deal with. Okay? But yeah, just back to what I was saying, you know, second, as I said before, when it comes to these situations, many women, especially those women, to all of you dudes out there trying to give these women a lesson, you know what I'm saying? They're thanking you probably secretly, because as I said before, when it comes to these situations, many women, especially women like that, those type of women, they do not look at attention, whether it's good or bad. They don't look at it the same. They look at it as something that they are okay with being there, so that they have a choice of if they're going to entertain it or not. Okay? You know, top tier men understand this. I know you little high value men are going to get confused. But regardless, they prefer it to be there. So on game. If AK was as laced as he should be with this in mind, it would not have happened. Okay? This situation would not even have played out like that and be blown out to the proportion that it is. But apparently Tasha K might have discovered that he ain't that dude. Okay, he ain't Big AK. You know what I'm saying? Because it starts from within, man. Your attention and your little bank account, it doesn't prevent you from being put in sucker situations like that. Where these two little hood rats or whatever is having you cause all these problems. And now it's got you to a point, like as I told y'all in the short, he pulled up to Hassan Campbell and they got to talking about shaking up the internet. I mean, we'll have to see what that exactly means. But in my opinion, this is another situation where AK from the industry is promising Hassan some trinkets if he work with the ops. I mean, if he work with him, okay. It's that, and of course, AK found out quick he is getting slammed by that Tasha K stuff, so he needed protection. But yeah, you know what I'm saying, and it looked like Hassan about to buy right on into it. You know what I'm saying, because in that video, Hassan looking like, yeah, what you got for me? You know what I'm saying? What you got for me? But we'll see what they talking about. It was looking real funny over there though, but we'll see, y'all. But let's just go ahead and move on. About this Tariq Nasheed situation. I made the little short, and a lot of people got a little mad over Tariq Nasheed, and as they do, because he's a household name for some of you people. But listen, man, about what I said about him, I said what I said. And I've gave him his props, but at the end of the day, this is one of the reasons why, y'all, I don't come on these platforms to really get cool with people like Tariq Nasheed and things like that. What he has done that I respected, I can give him that from a distance. You know what I'm saying? But I can send it right his way and let him just know that, I say what I say. I know what I see. And I've said this before. This is highly controversial and might get a lot of people mad. But Umar and Tariq, they ain't nothing but modern day prototypes of dudes like Martin Luther King and somewhat Malcolm X to some extent. The difference is that they needed those type of dudes for more back then. Okay? And that's just it. You know what I'm saying? Because they needed them to kind of get us in the house, especially when it comes to MLK. They needed MLK to get us into the burning house. Control opposition like Tariq Nasheed and Umar, they keep you in the burning house, okay? And then that's why they kind of allowed to exist the way that they do. You know what I'm saying? Dabble in things. They get access to the stars. Like I told y'all, Tariq done been cool with Snoop Dogg, Willie D, and everybody knows Snoop Dogg is over on that side. But you don't get alive with Snoop Dogg unless you on that other side, okay? And that's Tariq Nasheed. He won 100% controlled ops. You know what I'm saying? And he's had some scripted things happen to him too. Like when he had the cops come to his residence, man, y'all better pay attention to a lot of that stuff. And at the end of the day, he was the dude. He was also one of these dudes that got his start in entertainment. Okay? And so that's just real what it is. And we got to call it what it is to this day. Today. We got to call it for what it is when we see a lot of these dudes. When you look at dudes like Young Pharaoh, Dr. Umar, and all these dudes, they're being exposed. You know what I'm saying? And so, and that's just real. But like, for example, y'all, last week, he was yet again instructing so-called black folks to just randomly get insurance and lawyer up. Get life insurance and lawyer up. This is what he tells you. These are his solutions, okay? What he's telling folks, okay? More so-called white supremacy paranoia promotion. But he said that because, when he says these things, I'm like, Because he could be speaking to his FBA, right? But this is why I'm calling this out. Why does Tariq, who is calling himself a public figure, why ain't he providing the leads to who you should be dealing with? The lawyers you should be contacting and things like that. Why ain't he providing this to his FBA, considering where he's at in his status? You know what I'm saying? See, the thing is with this guy is he has a way of having you walk away from the situation, making you feel like, you know what I'm saying, you're on the front line of stuff. You know what I'm saying? He likes making this shit seem real theatrical and stuff. Okay, but he never brings nothing really full circle. You know what I'm saying? And there's a reason for that. Because he is controlled opposition, in my opinion. And just in general, if you have been listening to him for a while, this is why I tell y'all he likes to try to get the younger generation, because if you've been listening to him for a while, when it comes to his whole black talk and stuff like that, he basically recycles the same lines. Because this ain't the first time he has said this stuff about get insurance and stuff like that. He said this at the height of a lot of the police shootings and stuff about 6 or 7 years ago. You know what I'm saying? He was running around here telling black folks that we need to get insurance and we need to do this. It ain't nothing different with him. He just continued to reinvent himself to continue to get his little spot and continue to mislead the people. And I mean, if anything ain't misleading about the guy, the fact that he has a so-called white woman, okay, who is the elder of his household, okay, which is his child's mother's mother, okay. I mean, what more do you need to know about the guy? You know what I'm saying? I mean, and he really don't have a history for real if you really, really look into him. I mean, he liked to talk about how he was in the streets and he knew this and he knew that, and you know what I'm saying? But he don't really have a history. You know what I'm saying? When you look into this guy. But yeah, I said what I said, you know, and I'll leave it there. The next thing is this whole Nicki Minaj thing, okay, and Kevin Samuels. So Nicki Minaj pulled up to Kevin Samuels to speak with him. And, you know, there was just a couple of things that just stood out. But this was a check session, okay? And yet again, Kevin Samuels, he got checked by modern women, and I don't know if he knew it or not, but you know, it seems like after he heard a couple of comments or seen a couple of things, he probably should have said he had to pack his bags and go right then. Okay, but you know, one of the first things is, you know, the Nitty Bohemian, she was speaking on how she thought it was real funny that, you know, this guy's 50 plus years old and he calls himself the Godfather. But he has to pull up on a sexologist to get a better understanding about sexual chemistry and all this stuff. I thought that was funny myself. But that was just a side note there. But in my opinion, y'all, this was just another entertainment industry pawn in Nicki Minaj being sent to Kevin Samuels to send a message. Okay, he was saying certain things to her in the beginning and she was just like, wow, you know, just playing down to me kind of like what he was talking about. You know what I'm saying? But she had came to send a message. It was and it seems like they tend to use Nicki Minaj to give these lightweight checks to so-called brothers who are supposed to be so-called upfront in the so-called black community. But it was no different than the so-called Michael B. Jordan check. You know, she pretty much said in one part of the show that she's not a fan of Kevin Samuels' roasting method of women, especially ones who got something going for themselves. You know what I'm saying? She's not a fan of it. And then she pretty much just told Kevin Samuels in his face for having such an opinion, him and his followers can eat a dick. You know what I'm saying? And it was just a clever way of how she went about it. And you know, I know Kevin Samuels picked up on that, but you know, he kept that energy real tight. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, these entertainment people were coming through, got a lot of y'all shook, but Kevin Samuels played it cool and switched up his whole chain of thought. You know what I'm saying? He got the low-key tap dancing about how they don't do that anymore. He gonna tell her, nah, now it's about self-awareness. Yeah, we like to laugh, but yeah, you know what I'm saying? Played it down real quick. You know what I'm saying? He picked up on what she was doing. Anybody who was watching that knows she didn't come for no advice, but you know, the silly followers in the comment section that can't comprehend. But basically, in my opinion, that was nothing but a message the industry was sending, being number one, if Kevin Samuels persists to using this roast method, they might come for him, and they don't need the courts to do it. Okay. She pretty much stated that she will come and check Kevin Samuels if he's out of line. If there's something that he said, she will come and holler at him about it. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what Kevin Samuels said. And Kevin Samuels like, yeah, come talk to me about it. But you know, just her doing that and pretty much telling him and his followers, or if anything, a great majority of his manosphere, that they can eat a dick. I mean, that's just number one. If he persists like that, they might have to make him lay down. You know what I'm saying? And then number two, because she had offered for him to come on the show, Queens. But she was saying that if he get in line, you know, they might give him some opportunities. You know what I'm saying? That's what it seemed like she was saying to him. It's the same thing with Akademiks pulling up on Hassan. Okay, work with us and we're going to work with you. You know what I'm saying? This is what it seems to be going on, y'all. So yeah, you know, to be honest, a lot of the questions she was asking at the end and stuff like that, they were real low-level questions. Okay? Like stuff like, how often should men want ass, and should the women give it up? That was low level. The meat of that was her coming in to quietly check Kevin Samuels and let it be known that if he's doing stuff that's out of line, okay, she's gonna have a problem with that. And you know what I find interesting is Kevin Samuels is always so honky-dorky about a lot of these women that are not even top tier. They don't present themselves top tier. Nicki Minaj is not a top tier woman. You know what I'm saying? I mean, even the decision in the so-called man that she's with, in my opinion, is an indicator of that. But among various things, you know. But this is who Kevin Samuels is on his live, okay, or Instagram or whatever, getting in line for. Pay attention to that. But anyway, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and leave it there, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and leave it there. We're going to wrap it up on here, y'all. I appreciate y'all pulling up. Go ahead and comment below. Let me know what y'all think about the show. You know what I'm saying? Like this information. Go ahead and pound that motherfucker. You dig? And hit that sub button and that bell, because I'm going to drop something that you're going to like, all right? It's your folks, Shaka the Urban Philosopher. I'm out. It's 300.